Wait, also,
It's okay. I'll cut it.
oh, okay.
What?
I just feel like this chair is kind of weird.
Do you want to sit in this chair and I'll sit in this chair?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, but then you're gonna be out of the cut. No, it's fine. I'm
Are you
fine.
sure? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, here, just get your Hello Kitty pants out of the way because they're like, so now you've unlocked it. This is really great content. You've unlocked the chair, so you have to lock it on the other side.
Like that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Now I'm not like
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah. You were locked. Okay. All right. That's just Armin. Okay. Hello, you guys, and welcome back. Today we have a special guest. My sister Kate is here. Sister Kate, as Luann Deliceps colloquially calls her. We're doing an interview today, so we're gonna do it a little bit different because normally we like do our interview. Maddie and I chit chat at the top of the show and the bottom of the show, but she's here in person, so I was like, let's just do it all together and like we'll see how it goes. So, hello, everybody. This is you guys are like meeting, but like not
I
IRL.
know. I
I know. Hello, Maddie.
Hi. It's funny when she says Sister Kate, I automatically think a nun.
She got a cameo for my birthday from Luann, and she goes, Sister Kate. And so now we always say that. And it was like really, it was a weird thing that she did.
Yeah, like Luann referred to me as Sister Kate. Like, Sister
Why?
Kate tells me you're graduating.
I don't know. I think it was just like, because she knew she was my sister and like her name was Kate. So like, I think she just thought it would be like cute, but it was.
It's kind of a thing now. I go by Teacher Kate,
Yep.
Painter Kate, Sister
Sister Kate,
Kate.
yeah.
I do it all. Yesterday I was Delivery Girl Kate. I brought up some furniture.
Oh, yeah. She brought furniture. Yep.
Mm,
I do it all.
all the Kates.
Exactly.
So before we get in, is there like any catch up, any like things we should be updating on? This will be a little bit dated though when this comes out, but
True. When does
that's
this come
okay.
out?
I don't know, a couple months, but I always love a little catch up.
Mm. What I like had all these ideas, and you know how we always say like, oh, we should write things down like as they happens, and then we can
Yeah.
like bring it up. But didn't do that. I can tell you, I am on almost on the like last two episodes of season 5, Southern Charm. So I'm
Oh,
slowly clawing my way through that. And the evolution that Catherine has from the first season to season 5 is insane. Do you know what I'm talking about?
yes. I feel like Southern Charm is like one of those timepieces. Like when I go back and watch it,
So
like
good.
it is kind of the moment. And
Yes.
if you need like to go back to Bravo, go back to Southern Charm.
It is so good. Do you watch it, Kate? Or have you
I
watched it?
don't.
She is like so not anti-Bravo, but like
No, not anti-Bravo.
you just like don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I dibble dabble a little. Like
She
I've
doesn't-
seen some episodes when Allie puts it on.
She doesn't really like know about pop culture too much. So like when she does know pop culture things, I'm like, wait, what the fuck? You know that?
I don't know if you've known this, but I've lived outside, the country for a while, so kind of under a rock here.
But like you have like a phone.
I know.
And you've always been like that. So it's not
Let's just blame it on the internet.
it's not circumstantial. But Craig's evolution is also weird.
Oh my, what? Me and Joel were watching it, and how, so he like obviously does not want to be a lawyer. It's pretty obvious.
It's like so weird that like he even like was like cosplaying as a lawyer. Like, let's be real.
Well, what made me literally want to like pee my pants was the fact that he starts sewing. And I'm not like saying that's making me laugh, but it's he starts sewing, starts getting some traction, and then Patricia gives him the opportunity to have like not a line within her line, but it's like, oh, give us a few pillows. In 2 months, he literally puts fucking clip art on pillows. And then she's like, I wanted like real, like actual creations. He's like, oh, well, you should have told me that. She goes, Craig, it's been 2 months. You should have asked me that like the first day. And he goes, if I had one more night. No.
He's so embarrassing.
I was like, I could never like that kind of man, but like automatically, like I am so like, but want to throw up because like that's just common sense. Like you get a project, you ask, what are the things I need to know? And he's like, it's bull crap. One more night, it could have been perfect. Sir, you put fucking clip art of a tree and a dog, like an outline of a dog, and was like, here you go.
Like, that's not cutting it.
No.
He's so embarrassing, but I have a crush on him. Oh,
He's too childish. I'm like, bleh.
yeah, it's all right. I just like love how much he loves Paige. And like that's what I love. I'm like that, you know what?
Yeah.
Slay. You're embarrassing, but slay.
Yeah, I'll take that version evolution of him, like
Yeah.
once he becomes like more of an adult, not the child who can't like
Yeah.
just ask for like, what am I doing? And then like get mad that you didn't have one more night when he had 2 months. That annoys
Right.
me.
And then not to be rude, his voice is also a little weird. It's like kind of like a little bit like a Paige. Like he like it's just a little bit like I don't know, I get the ick every time he talks. But I have a
Like
crush
it's too
on him.
high? Like it's too high for you?
I don't know, it's just weird. Like he kind of sounds like a frog.
Like he needs to swallow or something.
Yeah, like he just kind of sounds like
Mm.
frog adjacent.
What happened to me last night?
Yeah, yeah, like our high school teacher we had in high school. You know, and like you have to like swallow and because like your
Uh-huh.
voice is done, like you like yeah, you know that?
But you don't, and you talk through it, and it's so uncomfortable for everyone.
Our high
Oh,
school teacher
yeah.
used to talk through it, and then she would, and then it would finally go away. We'd be like, just swallow. What are you doing? It's so embarrassing.
Swallow.
And not gonna lie, that happened to me last night.
Well, it happens to the best of us, but you swallow. Like you just,
You
So
need to test it.
yeah, you don't talk through it. But oh my God, that is so cringy. But yeah, that was like that haunts me in my nightmares. Like I never want to be that type of bitch that is like talking through a weird throat moment.
oh,
A
do
weird
you ever
throat
have like
moment.
do you ever have those like distinct memories of like, you know how awkward it was to like not have a bubble in your throat, but like start coughing or choking in class, and then you're like trying not to, then you're
Like
like,
you literally can't
when you're
stop.
and you're like crying, like I swear I'm not like this.
It's like mortifying, especially like during like the height of COVID times. Never did I want to be seen. Your camera's blurring a little bit.
I know, I don't know what to do. You know how this happens to me sometimes.
It's
Watch it.
happening.
I can't get any closer. I hate this camera. Fuck this camera. I was like,
It's
oh, I'm
very
gonna get a.
sensitive.
It is so sensitive. What do I do? I can't get that
I would
close.
try backing up and then coming close again. Because
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
smart.
Yeah, I used to pretend to be like a YouTube influencer. Like anytime, and we kind of still do this, it's like embarrassing. But anytime we're like getting ready, it'll be like, okay, like now I'm using like this
Like
part. You gotta like
Sharpie.
put the hand behind you to focus. And it's just a
Uh,
product of like growing up in like the mid 2000s, would you say mid
Yeah.
2000s, on YouTube and on 17 magazine. Like that shit was my crack. Put it in my veins. I am only watching Bethany Moto on YouTube.
Good to go.
yeah, I didn't have that.
Oh.
Did not have that. I was watching SpongeBob.
Well, I did like SpongeBob. I will admit that. But we used to like when we would go on like family vacations, like me, Kate, and our other friend, we would like sit in like the primary bedroom and like turn on the TV and watch The Simple Life or music videos and do our
Mhm.
17 magazine workouts and like it was like that was like the time of our lives.
Well, I remember your old room had like a window, and I don't know what I took, like a table or something, and I pretended that was like DJ setup. And I was like, my kiss
Oh,
went away or something.
yes,
Like I
yes.
was like in
And
the summertime.
you know what the
Thanks for
funny thing is?
listening.
It was like a toy for like a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even a real like so there was a window and you could see out into the driveway. And so she would be playing DJ, but it would literally be on this like piano that I
Yeah.
had. It was like literally when I was 8 or 9. And she would like put the microphone from the piano to the radio so that it would like be blasting. And she'd be like, "Wicka, wicka, wicka," like this kiss went away. And like,
And then I would talk into my little
yeah,
head,
yeah,
'cause
you
I
were
was like the DJ.
yeah, maybe you were
Uh-huh.
meant for radio or something. Oh, I feel like
Definitely.
that's so insulting.
Yeah, I think I was meant for
Yeah.
sure. Let's go with radio.
No. I meant like being a personality. I meant being a personality. Yeah, you never want to hear somebody say you're meant for radio.
Or like, hey,
Wait,
that's
why?
You look pretty
because you're
tired.
ugly. Like if
Like
radio,
you're not good enough for TV.
like your voice is good, yeah, but you're not good enough for TV. So
It's like when
You know
someone's
what?
like, "Oh, are you
Go ahead.
tired today?"
yeah.
It's like,
Oh,
please
yeah.
don't call me out.
Yeah, don't call me out. Don't call me out.
I was just thinking, like, talking of voices. I can't remember what was I listening to. What the heck was it? I don't know if it was a podcast or just some girl talking on social media. I was like, thank God that Allie and I don't have that like annoying ass voice you just can't listen to. Because like the podcast would
Yeah.
never work. Like there
Yeah.
are some podcasts I will listen to for like 5 seconds. I'm like, nope. Like your voice is so fucking annoying. I cannot listen to it. And like no one has said that to me, thank God. But like I just some voices like you're not meant to speak. I'd rather be not meant for radio than not meant to speak.
Yeah, and you know what? That's why if Craig had a podcast, wouldn't listen, couldn't listen.
It wouldn't pop off.
It probably would
No.
because like some people definitely are like, yeah, Craig, like he's the ultimate like frat guy, you know, but he just
Ugh.
yeah, like it's not super cute. But I don't know, part of me is like, Craig, you got a soft spot in my heart. Also, before we get into it, we'll get into it after this, but you have seen Trailer Park Boys, right?
You know what? I don't think I've actually like seen it. Like
She's
I've
lied.
maybe
She's a
seen
liar. She goes,
I've
I've
seen
seen
like
a couple of episodes.
no, I think I've literally seen like moments like from Joel watching
Moments.
it.
Okay.
Moments of it.
Do you know who Julian is?
No.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, if anybody out there listening, so I show Kate that show last night because I was like, it's so funny.
So funny.
We have to watch it. You're gonna fall asleep anyway. So like let's just put on like something quick. And I was like, guess who I have a crush on? And she was like, oh, Julian. And then I asked my friend Caroline, I was like, oh my God, I'm dead with Trailer Park Boys. We're talking about something. And I go, guess who I have a crush on? She goes, obviously Julian. I was waiting for you to say that. I was like, why is
What does
my
he look like?
he's
I
not
must
even
see.
that cute. I'm like embarrassed, but there's something about him. Like when he's holding the drink in his hand, he's like talk like he's given the business. Like there's something about like
given the business.
there's something about a man in
Let's see.
power. Even if he's in
Julian
power at the trailer park.
from
It's not really in a
Trailer Park Boys.
position of
Let's
authority.
see. Oh God, Allie! What?
I have really cringy taste.
Maddie's like, retract.
Hard pass. Hard pass.
Not that he's like hot, but there's something about him, the way he like he's always holding a drink and he's giving the business and
All the pictures he's holding a drink.
yeah, that's his thing. And he's giving the business. And I don't know, like I just feel like he would take care of me. Like I would feel safe.
With Julian.
I would. I mean, he's like a bad boy. He's been to prison multiple times.
In and out of jail.
He knows how to like, they're always like growing and selling dope. The weed would be good. I don't know.
He knows how to survive.
You know what? He's a man that knows how to survive. And in a world like this, isn't that all a woman wants?
You know what? No, because we have talked about.
I'm gonna have to say no.
I'll have to say no on that one. There are other things I require. But...
All right, perfect. So I'm just gonna like go. Well, actually, present day, he's like really fucking old and definitely not cute. Like, would not smash. He aged poorly. Not that he ever started out super great.
Well, you know, all the drinking.
The bar was on the floor.
You know what's funny? I started listening to disrespectfully. Wow, I couldn't say that word.
Oh, yes,
disrespectfully with
Katie Maloney.
Wow, thank you.
And Dana something.
Thank you. I knew you'd come through with that. And Dana said she is super attracted to from wow, does my brain work? The Sopranos, the head honcho.
Oh, Tony Soprano? Yeah.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
what?
I see it.
Okay,
But he's a man in power. He's a man in power.
Yes, but just
yes,
broke.
but no.
Again, I would feel safe with him. Like he would fuck anybody up. I could be like,
but he'd also fuck you up.
well, you got to take the good with the bad. No, I don't know, but there's something. Okay, this is a hot take. There's something about a burly man.
No, I think there's
And Kate the other day goes, You're kind of into fat guys. I go,
I never said that. I said you like the burly men.
that's what you meant though.
No.
Because I was talking about Kevin James.
I said burly, as in, broad shoulder.
That's not what she
facial
meant.
hair.
Uh-huh.
1,000% what I meant.
I go, oh, sometimes Kevin James looks attractive. And she goes, like mall cop? I go, no.
Not mall cop.
You said that.
No. But you were saying not mall cop. Like, what is it? King of Queens?
In King of Queens, he slayed a little bit. He was definitely too goofy for me. But like
Maddie's like, girl.
Yeah, I don't know. But like, conventionally, like attractive people is just
Like
like
we were saying, like Channing Tatum or something.
boring. He's boring.
Too many abs for me.
He's got the good body, but like, what else? Like, give me more. I don't feel protected.
Yeah.
I don't feel safe.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there are any, it'll probably come to me like after you record this, any men that like are like not conventionally attractive. And I'm like, oh yeah, like that,
Pete Davidson.
he, nah. I don't like wiry people. Like I don't feel protected
Wiry,
by
like really like skinny and long.
like really lean. Like my thighs need to be smaller than yours.
Well, that's why I'm going after the burly men. Because then you'll always feel like just a dainty little princess.
But there's like a limit. Like at some point, I'm like, if you can lift me up on my neck with one hand, we're in trouble.
Might not be mad about that.
Depends on the situation.
It depends. For sure. If I like forget to bring home like milk or something, I don't want no smoke.
Milk.
So, anyways, before we continue down the rabbit hole of delusion, so we brought Sister Kate on today. She is an icon. She's a legend. She's the moment.
Wow.
You're welcome. She has been living abroad in various parts of like Asia since 2019. And she does a lot of solo traveling. She gets into a lot of crazy situations, dating abroad. We want to just cover it all. What is the abroad life like for abroad? Did you see that double entendre?
Yeah. She's playing with words there.
Yeah. So I think a good place to cut, because I know your story, but like kind of explain it to Maddie. What, like where and when was like, okay, I'm gonna make the decision to go abroad. Like what fueled that? Because it like for sure didn't come out of nowhere. Like it was very on brand for you.
Well, I think I always knew that I loved traveling. And then when I was a freshman in college, one of my good friends was from France and I met her. We started talking about traveling, and I thought she was like the coolest person ever because she came all the way from France, like to go to Boston. And I was like struggling being like 20 minutes away from home. Like, I was homesick and
Oh my
everything.
gosh. The first couple weeks of college,
Bad.
she was like having like
Wow.
mental breakdowns just of like being away from home. So like me, my mom, and my dad would like every like Sunday was like go in and like take her out to dinner. It's 20 minutes away from our house.
Like bad, capital B.
Wow.
And I was looking at Megan and I'm like, oh my God, she's a freaking rock star. Like, this is crazy. And then I was talking to her about like, let's get a trip together. Let's go traveling like next summer. So then I planned this like 35-day Euro trip, and we were gonna, stay at her house, meet her family. And I saved for like 2 years, working like at a restaurant in downtown. Like any little scraps I got was going for the Euro fund. And then we all went. It was 35 days, most like amazing experience of my life. And then I came home and I was severely depressed. I was like crying at the airport. But then I knew that I was going to be studying abroad like the following January. So then I lived in Spain for 5 months. And it was like then that really solidified like.
Well, you didn't come home though.
What do you mean?
You went to Louisa's after. You didn't come.
Oh yeah, like after I studied in Spain, I spent another month in Europe, like hopping around to different like
Mm.
friends and stuff.
And my dad
Oh,
literally goes,
wow.
if she's not home by August, I'm gonna kill her. Cause he like with like you gotta get because you were going into your senior year.
Yeah, I was going
Like
into
you
my
had
senior
to
year
get
of
shit together. You
college.
had your internship. He's like, if she is not home by August, like there is gonna be like
Hell to
war
pay.
and hate. And you're like, whatever. Like you're like, I would not have been shocked if you just like canceled your flight.
I was running low on the funds.
Mm.
So that wasn't cute. But I needed to come home and I did. And then, graduated and got like, well, I took the summer off doing like, little travels, little painting with dad.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get right into like corporate America.
Didn't you go to Croatia that summer?
Oh, yeah. Because my dream was to travel the world for like a year. And then my dad
Mhm.
was like, well, how are you going to do it? And I was like, well, I can like volunteer or something. But the only downfall with that is, of course, you're not making any money. So then I realized, you know
Mhm.
what? I can't fund a year, but I could probably fund 3 weeks. So I went for 3 weeks to Europe and then came home. I was turning the ancient age of 23. I was
Oh,
so heartbroken at the time that I was turning 23 that I forced my best friend to come to New Orleans with me and have like a little birthday trip there. And
Mhm.
then I entered like corporate America, was there for like a year and a half. And I
but you
was
know what is like
like,
actually super funny? So at her
What?
job in corporate America, she was literally on the party planning committee,
in
like The
real life.
Office,
Yeah.
like IRL. My dad,
Wait, what?
yeah,
I was gonna say, what was your corporate job?
Oh, it was like
also on brand.
working for an educational travel company. So
Oh,
I was
okay.
like the middleman, like we would work with the teachers to provide them like an opportunity to take the students, like American
Oh,
students
cool.
abroad, predominantly to Europe, but there were some like Asia trips, actually a lot of like South American trips or Central American
Mhm.
trips and like a few African trips, but majority it was like the big sellers like Italy, Spain, France,
Mhm.
and we would work with like the tour directors over in those countries. So
Mm.
yeah, still like travel related, but I was stuck in the office in Boston and Quincy. So I did that for a while. But every other Friday we had like a party. What was it? Like happy hour, but Neils. We called it
Niels,
Neils.
Niels.
And I was asked to be a member of the party planning committee, which I willingly said yes and
Yeah.
excelled at. It was probably better than my job. It was great. So I planned many things, many events. Um, and then I don't know, after some time, I was just kind of like, man, like I feel like I need to like branch out again. Like living in
Mhm.
Spain was such like an
Well, let's be
exhilarating.
real. You came home one day and you're like, "Ugh, I just can't work this 9 to 5. I hate it. And
Mhm.
I just want to travel. But am I giving up my career?" And I go, what not and not in a rude way, but I go, what career? Like you have literally been in this job for a year and a half. You don't like it. Like what
Yeah.
career? This is not
Mhm.
like we're not in like the
Mhm.
fucking
You're
2000s where
not.
like you just
Yeah.
work and work and work and it doesn't matter your job. And so I go, well, what do you
Yeah.
want to do? And she's like, I don't know, maybe like teach abroad. And I'm like, okay, like, how are you going about that? But the whole thing was just so obvious that like you literally hated what you were doing. Like you loved the
Yep.
people. You loved,
Yep.
Yeah, I loved the people. I had such amazing coworkers.
yeah, but
I
the
loved the Neils. I loved the party planning committee.
for sure. But the day to day was like,
You can't live for the Friday, you know?
no, you can't live for the Friday.
So then I was looking into possibly, well, because I was remembering my time in Spain. I just felt so alive and like it was
Mhm.
just like such a cool experience. So I'm like, I want to like recreate that. So then
Mhm.
I was looking at opportunities like where can I go? Where should I go? And it was kind of like between somewhere in South America
Mhm.
or somewhere in Asia. But you don't like to admit this, but the world revolves around money. And in South like Southeast Asia is a little bit more money and the cost is cheaper. So it's like
You
kind
make
of
more money there.
Yeah, you make more money plus things cost less. So that's kind of like the ideal spot. And to be fair, like I had already gone to Colombia and loved it, but I was like, oh, I guess I have more of a chance to visit South America because it's so much closer to Boston, but I don't really have all these chances to visit Asia. So I was like, you know what? Let's just do like a 1 year situation. And then that got interrupted with COVID and then came home and kind of struggled for like 6 months to get back there and then eventually got back there. And at that point, it was kind of like everyone knew, like, just let me be. Like, not asking, like, when are you coming back? Because when I first went out, remember, everyone's like, you're going to be home in a year, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, in a year, in a year. And to be honest, I got there in October 2019 and I texted my friend and I was like, I think I'm leaving. Like, I can't do this. I had signed for 2 semesters and I was like, I'm gonna finish out one and then I'm just going. And then it was
Why?
like 3 weeks. I was so homesick. I was like, what the hell did I do? I really
Mhm,
messed up. Like I I was lonely. I was like, I cannot do this. Like I'm getting the hell
mhm,
out of here. Like biggest mistake of my life. And then I remember I invited myself to one of my first friends in Thailand, her little weekend trip. And I swear to God, that weekend trip, like, completely changed the
Who was it?
course, Erica.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Completely
yeah, yeah.
changed the course of my life
mm,
because I got out of this like loneliness. I saw like,
mhm.
wow, what my life could be traveling and like the fun time with friends and the blah blah blah. So then I started to, feel a bit more comfortable and the transition was becoming easier.
But I feel like that is is an experience you have with a lot of things.
Things, yeah.
Like it kind of takes time, but once you like get comfortable and like solidify your decision, you're like, oh, this is it. Then you're like, I'm not fucking coming home.
Because I actually texted Brenda and was like, I am only staying for 1 semester. Like, I cannot do this. Like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And then went on that trip. And a few weeks later, I was like, okay, I'm loving it. I'm thriving. Like, of course, you still have your ups and downs, but I was like, I can do
Mhm.
this. And then, like, COVID came out of nowhere and then put a little wrench in my plans. And I was pretty much, guided to come home. And at the time, I was very upset, but now I'm super grateful because like we had all that COVID fun summer. You know, too many parties at the house.
Yeah.
Well, parties of 4 people.
Yeah, like let's make sure we put that out
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
We were
yeah.
not like super spreading events. That's not
The
that's not the
beach.
energy I want for myself. Yeah, it was like me, you, and then like two of our friends, they're married now. And we would like be in the backyard and it was always like, okay, like who have you been around? Like, are you guys feeling sick? Okay, you're not. Okay, like you want to come over and like we'll hang out like in the backyard. Okay,
In the
okay.
backyard by the fire pit.
Yeah. But
It's
honestly,
crazy. I
yeah,
was
you
gonna
go.
say it's crazy how much having a friend group and like just having people you can be around and talk to, like how much that changes everything.
Oh my God. Like if I had stayed in Thailand, like I would have been by myself, already so like isolated from like my family and
Mhm.
friends. And I would have just gotten like so depressed. It would have been so insanely unbearable. But it's like, reluctantly I came home and then it's like I'm with my mom and my dad, my sister.
Yeah.
We're watching
I
shows,
think
we're
she was
having
saying with
wine.
Erica when you
Yeah.
went on that trip with Erica.
Oh, true, true, true.
But that,
But I
yeah,
was talking about COVID
no,
times.
I know, but to have a friend
Yeah.
pull you out of
Mhm.
and you're always the type, Kate's always the type of person that's like doing a new thing. Like, am I gonna meet people? Like, am I gonna find friends? And I'm like, give yourself like 2 days. Like, people are just very drawn to your energy, and that's kind of what happens? Like now I think you're a little bit more open to
A little bit more confident with it.
right, but it's always
But
like
still you have that fear, like, oh my God, what if I don't meet anyone?
right. But then, and when you moved to Vietnam, then you started like Muay Thai, which I know I was telling Maddie about how you do that. And she was like, oh, we definitely want to talk about that. But having that community as well, like
Oh
not
my God,
only did you
yeah.
have your teacher friends, then you had your Muay
Mhm.
Thai friends, then you were kind of pushed into meeting more people in it. And it opens up your experience
And
Yeah.
that
in
the
the
Muay
other
Thai
country.
specifically was super cool because it was like a local gym and I was like the first
Mhm.
and only foreigner that went there. And
Oh,
I think at
wow.
first they were a little bit like nervous because I guess it was intimidating to be like, communicating in English and stuff.
Right.
But I was like kind of persistent and I'm like, I want a gym, I'm coming here. And then we became like literal best friends. Like actually, now I've been back in Boston for like 10 days. She just called me. My Muay Thai trainer
Oh,
just called me on Wednesday
yeah.
and was like, how are you doing? Where are you? Catching up. Like, I love her to death. She looks at me like family. They had parties for me before I left and stuff. Like, it was so special. So, but it just goes from like, at first, them almost being nervous about like, ooh, should we have her in the gym? So then, like I'm like having parties with them before I leave. So that was
Mhm.
a special thing. And then one other foreigner started joining. So
Oh,
slowly,
Oh.
they became like a little bit more of a mixed crowd or something.
sure, sure.
Uh-huh.
Of course, that's good for their business.
Right.
So that
Mhm.
was kind of like a very unique experience. Like I could have
Mhm.
just gone to one of the more like popular westernized kind of gyms, but I'm like, no, I don't
Mhm.
really want that for me. And I was just walking around my neighborhood, which was quite like in a local area, and I just saw a sign. I kind of like hunted it down. It was actually quite difficult to find at first.
They did that on purpose.
Right? They're like,
Like,
not
no
you.
foreigners.
Yeah.
They're like, if you know, you know.
Yeah, and then I got in there and like, oh my God, it just ended up being my happy place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aw. You know, it's so funny how similar, Kate, your story is, and like Lindsay, how she lives her life with like traveling and whatnot. Her focus isn't necessarily like to travel. It's more like around like the work that she does. But whenever she was joining a CrossFit gym in Italy, I don't necessarily think she was looking for a more local one. That was just the one right next to the apartment she was living at, and she wasn't driving in Italy, obviously, because it's freaking crazy too. But she was the only, not maybe not the only one, but everything was in Italian, and
Oh
like
yeah.
no one spoke English. But the funny part about CrossFit is it's all English. So they'd be like blah blah blah, blah like cleans, blah, 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 hip thrust. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was like she could
That's
like
so funny.
uh-huh. Yeah, so she could do the workouts and everything. And like she was learned a little bit of Italian, but like, she was, got through there, but like talking to everyone, that was obviously a little more difficult. But she said joining like a local gym was like the best thing that she did, because you meet people, and
Mm.
people are, want to invite you to stuff, and it was good for her.
Exactly. It was one of like the best experiences. And
It's
like
like an easy in for a community.
yeah, for a
Mhm.
community and everyone's always there because they're very like dedicated to their craft and
Mhm.
some of them are fighters, some of them are just trying to get into shape, some of them are like this is my sanity place,
Yeah.
my sanctuary. So everyone is like pretty committed. You see the same faces like weekly, whatever. But all the classes are like in Vietnamese, of course. So sometimes I would do the class and sometimes I would do like a personal trainer, but it's super cool because of course there's real terms like upper hook, cross, like all this stuff for Muay Thai. But just to simplify it, they just call it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh.
So it's like 1
Mm.
2 1 2 3 2 3
Mm.
2.
Okay.
So you learn the numbers as the moves. But then, which was super cool, because you said Lindsay started learning a little bit of Italian. They were trying to teach me like Vietnamese while I was working out. So it was a workout for myself, like physically and
Oh,
mentally,
wow.
because they would start yelling out the numbers in Vietnamese. So it's like Mot Hai Bot. So say it's like 1 2, it'd be like Mot Hai, Hai Bot Hai Bot Hai. And I'm like, okay, what is going on here?
Oh
And
my
Oh
I'm
my
so I'm literally like
God.
learning Vietnamese, practicing Vietnamese while physically frigging like giving it my all, punching these bags, like.
Wow.
So that
Yeah.
like I couldn't have even like written that experience up. Like
Right.
that was just crazy.
Right.
And then like they were actually learning like English from me, because like some of the trainers, they were like 19, like kind of like super young, but they didn't really know any English. And then after working with me, they were forced to learn a little bit. So then by the end of my time there, they're asking questions like, how are you? And like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
bye, Kate,
Aw.
see you later. And
Oh.
before, they only knew hi.
Right. Yeah.
So
Oh,
that was like super
wow.
cool. And then on the flip side, I also got to practice, like a
Walk
little
away
bit
with like
of my
something.
Vietnamese.
Yeah.
Wow. You
That's
should have got a discount on going there.
you're like, let me tutor
Can
you.
I negotiate
Uh-huh.
a little discount here?
Yeah, that's so funny. But I think I mean, like across the board, like, and that's kind of, I think, the cool thing about like finding that like exercise niche, right? Like for Lindsay, it
Yeah.
was
Mhm.
CrossFit, for you, it's Muay Thai, but like having that community, it's like, okay, we don't all speak the same language, but like we're here to do the
Mhm.
same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mhm.
it just like opens the door to bring people together. And I would assume that's probably like something you would like recommend, like a big takeaway. Like if you are traveling,
Oh, yeah.
get yourself into some sort of like community aspect. And like honestly, like it
Mhm.
seems like exercising is the easiest way to do it, because you're all there for the kind of the same purpose, right? Like you're here to work on yourself, you're here for the community aspect.
Mhm.
And then you actually get to meet like really cool people, whereas like
Yeah.
where the hell are like 20s 30s people gonna go? Like you don't go to like a community center and like meet
Yeah.
people, like that's just awkward. Or like
Mhm.
just like go to the bars, oh shit, like well these people don't really, like we can't really speak the same
Or
language.
like they're already with their friends.
Yeah, and you're like just like this
Yeah.
weirdo, like
And I will
hey.
say, like, the locals are so nice. Like they clearly can see I'm different and probably don't understand the language. So then there'll be one person that does speak English, and they'll be like, all right, I'm gonna help you. So this is what
Mm,
the trainer's saying.
Oh, that's
Like they go
nice.
out of their way to make sure like you're not falling behind.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've experienced that, in so many places. So that's like such a beautiful thing. It's kind of like we're all humans. Like even though you don't know what's going on, let me fill you
Mhm.
in a little.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where 3 or 4 different people were trying to tell me, oh, this is what you're supposed to do.
That's
Like I
nice.
got
Yeah.
Mhm.
all these extra little like helpers, just like out of the goodness of their heart. Like,
Yeah.
and it is so weird because Muay Thai is obviously a sport from Thailand. And I've gone to like a few Muay Thai gyms in Thailand. And like I really liked it, like good experiences. But it wasn't till Vietnam that I found this like sense of community
Mm.
and really like bonded.
Mm.
And I think it was because the trainer or the owner of the gym is a woman. And usually you have like male trainers. But she's a
Mm.
woman, and actually, like, she's Vietnamese, but she's a super, super big, successful, popular Muay Thai fighter. She's on like the Vietnamese national
Oh.
team. She's
Oh,
traveled all
wow.
around the world. Like she's traveled to Thailand many times for it. She was just recently in the States for training. And then she decided, like, I want to open up like my own gym. So that was like such a cool experience because, yes,
Mhm.
I've been to many gyms, but this is the one where I'm like, I feel like they're my family.
Mm.
And I
Oh,
have
that's cool.
recommended, like, even to my friends, like in the area. I'm like, oh my God, you guys have to come here. Like, I've actually brought in 3 friends there,
Yeah.
and they all like loved it.
You just had like a Vin Diesel family moment.
Oh my God.
But oh, they're just much in my family.
Exactly.
But no, I think that's like super, super interesting, especially like because she is like a woman. She's like the successful fighter.
Yeah.
And like that just makes it easier and like more approachable, I think, to
Yeah.
get into like a contact sport.
And then there's more women trainers. Like there still
Yeah.
are male trainers and they're so awesome. But yeah, there's a few more like women trainers and it just kind of feels like it's like different.
Yeah.
Like
The
it's
vibe is cool. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think a lot of times anything like women owned, I'm just more like
right.
wanting to go and support that because there's nothing like a woman's ability creating like community because like
Yeah.
hey, we crave that. Like guys, like they don't need community. Well, they
Yeah.
think they don't think they do. A
Yeah.
lot of guys like to be loners with things and struggle on their own. It's no wonder like I can't remember where I saw this like men have like higher rates of suicide because like they struggle alone with things. And we're like, no, we need this, we need community, we thrive with that.
Talk
And
it out.
yeah, like we know how to express emotions, like go figure that, we like doing that. But yeah, I love to support like anything like, women owned and like created. Like when I was in Denver for like a month, I was going to like every sound bowl, like meditation class possible. And I met like two sisters that it's kind of funny because I think they're around the same age difference. My sister and I are, and you guys are too. But the one started she's like sound bowl, like I don't know if she does reiki but like in the sound healing world, and her sister just started as well. But I just went to this class like by myself, my sister wasn't home, and I was just like talking to people, meeting people, and like that again, having that community, like I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like there's nothing like that in Pittsburgh. Like
Mm.
maybe like in Pittsburgh, but like I'm like not that far, like 15, 20 minutes, but it's just like inconvenient for me to like just run down to the city really quick. It's like,
Like every day if that you're trying
yeah,
to
to go do that.
routine.
Yeah. And there's nothing really in like the suburbs out here. Like there's really nothing like that. And that's what the cool thing about Denver is. Like you could go to the park, which is like minutes from my sister's apartment, and there's thousands every day, thousands of people playing so many different games. I don't even know, like volleyball, whatever the other one that's popular right now, pickleball, like
I
everything.
love pickleball.
Actually
Have
just played that for the first time.
It's so fun.
Oh, I haven't played it yet. Maybe eventually.
Yeah, I don't know, like it's so I read this thing. I think it was last year or something, but it was like so many older people are like getting injured from playing pickleball. And
Yeah, I can see that.
I was like, why? Like, what? This is crazy. And so then I was playing it, and like, when you get into it, you're like running, you're like getting real low. I was like, oh
Mhm.
my God. So, like, James and I played it for like probably close to an hour one day. Like, we were just like, we would take little breaks, but we are like, oh my God, this is so fun. Dripping sweat. I'm having like the time of my life. I'm like, we need to like
Mhm.
build a pickleball court. Like, I'm just like obsessed with it. It's
Yeah.
so
Get a
fun.
little league going.
Yeah, literally. I want like a pickleball league. I do. But there's like, I agree. Like, there's nothing like around. I mean, this is your first time here, but there's like nothing really super like fun around here, or like good communities. Like, this is definitely an area where it's like more like bikers and drinking and boating. And, I
Mhm.
don't think a lot of people are health focused.
Maybe you could be that person to start something.
For sure. For sure. But it's just
Like get a little community
the
together.
area is not like
Is it too spread out?
not even, it's just like very like
The interests are
a lot of
different.
bikers, a lot of bars. Like, it's just like that's the
Mm.
vibe, because it's like we're
That's
close.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, exactly. And so I totally like
Uh,
get the not having that, where it's like in
yeah.
other cities, I mean, even where you lived, like you said it was a little bit more of like
So it was in Ho Chi Minh City, but it wasn't like the downtown, but still so
right.
much like going on.
I just feel like some
But
parts of like the world are just like so much cooler and just like have like
Yeah.
so much
Oh,
more to offer.
Denver. I'm like, sign me up.
She's
Like
manifesting.
she's manifesting it.
everyone knows how much I like don't want to be here. I say it all the time. But like Pittsburgh is just like I've always struggled making friends. I've always struggled like just fitting in because like everyone just drinks. Everyone just
Yeah.
goes to the it's like what you do like in your like early 20s is like go to the north side and like bar hop. I'm like, bleh,
Yeah.
like no thank you. Like I don't drink. I never got into it. So it's just like very like I don't care to do that. And also
Not conducive for you.
no, I'm terrified of getting bit by a tick. And like Pennsylvania is like
Oh,
tick
yeah.
country. So like I don't like to go hiking out here because I'm like, oh, I don't want to get a tick. Like
Yeah.
my parents found one in their bed the other week. Like I know.
Oh my God.
I know. Like to me, I'm like, I want to die. So yeah, so like Pittsburgh is just not somewhere where it's conducive to wanting that, like healthier lifestyle. Like
Lifestyle.
it's tough.
Right. Yeah.
I
And
mean, you
even
can
like,
lead it, but
what'd you say?
I said you can lead one, but it's kind of
Sure,
solo.
sure. Yeah, it is definitely more solo. Like, and even there are a couple of places like I've seen in my area, um, that are like CrossFit gyms or other things like that, but there's the overwhelming feeling of I don't know if it's like a New England thing, but it just
What?
doesn't feel very health focused,
Oh,
very health centered. It's like the winters are long, they're dark. It's like people are like, we want to just like drink and party.
So I feel like summer finally comes around.
Summer comes
And it's like, oh my God, daylight,
and
it's warm. Like, let's pop
people
stuff.
lose their shit.
Yeah.
And
Even I'm like, oh, hey, is there a brewery around here?
I know, I
Like,
know. There is one right down the
we should
street.
probably check it out.
I can't even drink anything there. They have literally nothing. I get a Diet Coke because
You're like, oh,
there's no beer. I'm like, do you have any like gluten free, like anything? They're no. I'm like, okay, for sure. But no, it is. It's like I think it's like a New England curse. Is
Yeah.
Pennsylvania part of New England?
No.
Northeast?
Northeast. But I think
We'll call it
Pennsylvania is a
Yeah.
little bit warmer.
Well, but not in the
Yeah.
winter. In the winters, it's still cold, right?
Still cold, but I don't
Yeah.
think it's as cold. And I think it
Oh.
warms up
Yes.
a little
Not
bit earlier.
Oh,
it's
okay.
not
So
as cold. We don't get as
here
much
on
snow
Lonely
as you
Island.
Like the
guys.
extremes aren't as bad, and it probably spring comes a little bit sooner.
Okay.
So
I was trying to like bring you into like my misery, but
I
even
mean,
like
it's still cold. It gets
yeah,
it's
she's
not
like, it's
I
cold
don't
and
like the
dark. Like I
weather.
hate it.
don't get me wrong.
But it's like it is
Literally.
so hard. But I think even if when you're in maybe more of those like isolated place, like obviously we're not isolated, but in those like we're having trouble finding those people, even just like doing it yourself, right? And having people that you can talk to, even like me and Maddie, like we've never actually met IRL. This is like I tell this bitch everything. Like there is no filter. Like it's a running stream of consciousness. But we can both relate and push ourselves and like support each other in that like healthy living and move over a little bit. Jesus, you're on top of me. Like always. But it's just, I think like just going back to the community, like whether it's in person or you find people online, or I think what's really awesome is like if you can find like ClassPass
Yeah.
like around you. Do you know what that is?
Mhm.
Yeah. I think that's a great way for people to like get into like involved in something. If you like don't know where to start, if you move to a new place, if you're trying to figure out what is a fun way to like move your body, like find your sense of people, like
Or
just
like those Facebook groups.
oh yeah.
Like I feel
Oh, hit or
any
miss.
It's
Hit or miss.
It's hit or
like,
miss.
It's been miss for me.
miss. Anytime that because I didn't even realize like places in America had it. But like when I moved like to Bangkok or when I moved to
Oh,
like Phuket or when I moved to Ho Chi Minh, it's like something along the lines of like foreigners abroad or foreign women or something like
Yeah.
that. Because they're usually women-centered groups and like foreigners, but obviously like locals, anyone can come into it. But it just kind of like, hey, I'm really missing some like mac and cheese. Anyone want to go get some?
Yeah.
Like you could literally write about anything. Or
yeah.
like I have really bad OCD. So at the time, a few years ago, I was like, does anybody know like an OCD specialist, like a therapist that, that's their thing? Because I didn't want to just go to any random like Joe Blow,
Yeah.
So I Joe Blow. No,
Just, like,
Joshmo.
blowjob backwards.
Joshmo.
Blowjob.
Sorry, I'm pretty like infamous for fucking up
She always is messing up.
the sayings.
Yeah.
Joe Schmo, sorry. Like I wanted someone like specifically that knows how to deal with that. So whether like you're writing about going out getting some drinks for the weekend, whether you're writing about dermatologists, whether you're writing about like
trying to even just like meet people, like
people.
like you could probably literally be
or
like,
like
I'm having trouble like meeting friends. Like, can I like
people do that?
Yeah.
Or even like, hey, my friend's been going through a really like rough breakup. Like, can we have some ideas about X, Y, and Z?
Right.
Like people really just post whatever in there.
Yeah.
You can always find someone, or like Maddie, like there's also lots of people that don't drink. So they're like, oh, hey, I don't want to do the typical bar hopping, but like, does anyone want to like meet? We can go cafe hopping or something like this. And then it's like in seconds, you're going to have responses. Like, who knows if you're going to click with that person?
Sure.
But in seconds, you're going to have responses. You're going to have someone to meet up with. And, you know, I guess like that's for you to just vet, like, okay, are they good? Or are they safe?
Yeah.
In my experience,
yeah.
totally fine. And super normal and safe. But yeah, like I just feel, well, most of the time.
I just feel like your sentiment is great. You're not the person to be talking about safety, which will kill Maddie.
So we'll just like backtrack. Just, you know, be safe out there, be safe in these streets. But yeah, like I've used the Facebook groups, and every single place that I've moved to, I've either gotten information like on therapists, dermatologists, good Muay Thai gyms to join, or I've met people, and it's just like helped form a sense of community. So I don't know, like that can
do with that what you will. I'm gonna be real. Don't think I'm finding that in.
I mean, I don't know.
Town.
Like, I don't know if these towns in America like have these.
I would say
Facebook
probably
groups.
like bigger cities.
Yeah, I mean, they have like a Pittsburgh one, like Pittsburgh food, and people are like, "Hey, I'm looking for really good like Asian food or this," and people are like, "Oh, go here." Like I've seen a bunch of those. There's a bunch of friend groups I've seen. I've joined, like, "Hey, girls trying to make friends" or whatever, you know. And like, where are all the Pennsylvania people at? Yada yada yada. And like, I've done a couple posts, and I met. How many did I meet up with? I think I ended up meeting up with one.
Yeah.
And this is not me like talking shit on her, but like it was just a one-sided friendship. Like it wasn't like I was just like, I just don't see this really going anywhere. Like we didn't talk for months and months and months, and then just like, oh, do you want to go for a walk? Like, oh, now you want to just use me to go for a walk, but you don't want to like talk for months and months and months. Like it was just
Wasn't
like
she
weird.
like moving?
Oh yeah, she told me in our last hangout that she was moving, and I was still debating like, is this someone like I want to keep hanging out with? And then she's just moving. I was like, whew, we're done. We're done.
Now I like don't feel like obligated.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I got that text and I was like, how do I respond to that? Because I literally didn't hear from her for months. And then like she didn't even say like, oh, great see anything. Like not that I need that, but like I was just kind of like, you know, and then I got that text. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm not even gonna answer because you're literally moving. Like, I don't care to like hang out with you.
Yeah, like low key, it's like weird behavior. Like you're just trying to like fill a gap.
Yes, I'm just like a
time because you're bored.
Yeah. And that just is, like
and I was just like, I just don't think like I don't know. I always think like, do I need to like literally tell someone like, hey, no, we're just not a fit, or just be like, just don't answer, and that's my response. So I just didn't answer. But
I think sometimes it's best to maybe just not answer.
Yeah, so those groups can be like super toxic. Like I'll see girls post and be like, last time I did this, everyone sucked. Doing it again, looking for it. I know. Like,
well, maybe
like,
they sucked because you're going in it with crazy energy.
Yeah, like all that negativity ain't cute.
Oh.
No. But yeah, I mean, I'm not me and Allie have said we wanna interview like a relationship like friendship coach because I've seen them on TikTok. I'm like, I could probably use one of those because I'm just cut through it with people.
Also, like Bumble BFF is like really helpful. I told Allie this like when you first moved to Vermont.
I was
She told me. She told
I did.
me.
I go.
I've had really, really good experience. Like
Misery loves company.
two of my good friends in Vietnam are from Bumble BFF.
Okay, but wait. Didn't you also meet some friends because you went on dates with them?
Yeah, but that was different.
Oh, was not Bumble BFF.
No.
Okay. Let's just be real. It's not going to work for girls like me and Maddie. I just think because I feel like we'd be awkward and weird and like I just feel like
for example,
okay, I'll take it back. It won't work for a girl like me.
Well, I'd be like, what are your goals? Are you working hard? Are you lazy?
That's too much. That's too much pressure. That's too much pressure. People will literally be like, "This bitch is crazy. I have to leave."
Okay, last year when I was in Thailand, there's this girl, she's from like Seattle, and her boyfriend had moved to Thailand, and like they love each other, whatever. And she put on her profile like, hey, like just looking for some girlfriends, like here with my boyfriend, but I need some space sometimes. So then I'm like, oh, hey, yeah, like also just moved to Phuket, like love to, catch up or not catch up, but love to meet up for like a drink or something. And, we bonded over this like really good restaurant and her energy was just so great. And I think she's looking for like a familiar face because, like
white people.
Well, she's not even white. But like just like foreigner.
Oh, where is she from?
Seattle. But I mean, she's half black, half Hispanic.
But just like
like another American.
Another American.
Yeah.
Retract the white people. American person.
Yeah, like another Westerner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also not just her boyfriend.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, okay, we have another Westerner friend, blah, blah, blah. It was new energy. It was exciting. We got some margs. We got some good sandwiches because we also like love Thai food, but we just needed a little break. We went to like a Western restaurant, whatever, just a little taste of it, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we met up like a few more times and sometimes her boyfriend would join and like I got to meet him. He was super chill. But yeah, like in the profile it's something like I'm in a relationship, just looking to meet a few friends, and it was very casual, like, hey, I'm getting off of work early tonight, want to grab a drink, like, but it was nothing.
So you're not like not best friends, but you're just kind of like
not best friends, but like friends, like we still follow each other on Instagram. They recently got married. Of course, I sent like a congrats situation, like in the DMs.
So do you think this is like a way for people, like you could meet your best friend, but you're not best friend shopping. You're just like, I'm just trying to like meet somebody, have conversation. And it is like dating in a way. You're seeing like, could this work? Like, could this like be a best friend situation?
You only see them once every other week or something. Hey,
that's a big commitment, every other week.
So Kate is the type of person that is like very friend oriented.
Yeah.
Where I am not. Like I am very happy like keeping people, I think, at distant, which sounds terrible, but it's just my energy. Kate is like gets her energy from her friends, her people. So once a week or once every other week is pretty low maintenance for this bitch. Because she's like, I got to do this Monday. I'm doing this Tuesday, this Thursday, this Friday. Blah, 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 and I'm just like, I am tired of your schedule. Like it is a lot.
Like I've only been back in the States for like 10 days and I've already been on 2 weekend trips.
That's a lot.
That's just
sorry. I just sneezed really hard.
That's okay.
God bless.
Bitch. We're back. But what was I gonna say? But yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I'm in between because I feel like I could be you, Kate, but then I turn into Allie because I have no friends here.
You're like, I could be one or the other.
Yeah, like I definitely like. I think I get a lot of my energy from being around my sister. And when I was in Denver, we were apart for 11 months.
Oh my God.
And that was the most we've ever been apart ever in our entire life.
Like the longest period.
Yeah. Like, go on vacation, do this, do that. Like when she moved 45 minutes away, that was a big deal because I'm like, oh my God, you're like far away,
Yeah.
But for us, like we don't thrive phone calls, we don't thrive texting because like it's so easy to get in spats with your sibling when you can't read tone over text message. like very easy. But when I got to Denver, I was like, oh my God, like rejuvenated. And then I remember coming home, I literally wanted to kill myself. I like wanted to jump off the airplane. I was like, I do not want to go home. Cause
Because you
like,
did not want to be away from her.
yeah, and like I just had so much fun with her in Denver. Literally, like I always thought, like I always say, like this is what my husband makes fun of me. I'm like, oh my God, I want to live here. Everywhere I go, I'm like, I want to live here because I like really do despise Pittsburgh, and it's like the number of I can't remember what year it was. We had less sunny days in Seattle, like recently.
Wow.
That's how fucking shitty the weather is here. That's why part of why I hate it. And so when I got home, I was like immediate depression. Like I was like, get me the fuck out of here. Like it's
Like,
just
let's
because
rewind.
yeah. So I know like I'm going back here in like 5-ish weeks. And I'm like super excited because I know how much that fills my cup, but also like having, and I know you guys can relate to this, like having a sibling is like your first best friend. And it's
Oh,
hard
yeah.
to be away from that. And then I think it also like taints other relationships, like because they have to compare to that when they don't have to, but you do that without trying. So for me, like when I have friends, like I think I'm automatically like a very close friend. Like me and Allie talk more than me and Lindsay do, but me and Lindsay are very close. Like we'll have a phone call. Like she was driving back to, I can't remember where, from Michigan, I think. And we talked for like an hour and a half. But then we won't text for a while. But then when we talk, it's like a big, deep discussion, you know?
Yeah.
But like some people, I just can't, like, if we're not having any type of deep discussions, I'm like, there's no point in us being friends. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but like, that's how I've been with friends. It's like not an all or nothing, but like, if we can't talk about deep stuff, like, I don't care to talk about the party you just went to.
Yeah. I think it's like you know what you want. You know what I mean? You know what
Hmm.
you want out of a friendship and
Hmm.
whether maybe, being a little more flexible or a little bit more open to different kind of friendships. Cause I was just
Not
talking.
me.
Was it you, Allie, or I was talking to someone and they were like, "Oh yeah, I don't think I can talk about that with that person." And I was like, "Oh, I totally understand." But to me, I'm like, you don't have to talk about everything with every friend.
That's
Like,
how I feel. I feel certain
Yeah.
friends.
like you have your gym friends, maybe you have your party friends, maybe you have your
Yeah.
arts and crafts friends.
Yeah.
Like I have some work friends, like we're super close at work, but like I don't know, we're not going to go out drinking
Well,
together.
because there's boundaries.
Yeah.
Like your work friends,
Yeah.
Well, I have some work friends that I do like we get, a little cray cray together.
right, right. But I think it's transcends. They're not just your work friends; they have become
Yeah,
your
I
friends.
get.
But I think it's okay to have like boundaries and to have like different types of friends. I think like
Yeah.
I wouldn't talk about maybe certain hot topics with
With
certain
certain
people because
people.
I just don't want to get into it.
Yeah, like I know
Yeah.
some people that I'm just like, I'm not really gonna bring this up because we're probably not gonna agree. And
Yeah. And I just like don't
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care to like I'm not trying to convince you, but I also just
Yeah.
like don't want to I don't want to have a conversation about like let's keep it light and bright and then I can bring that over to
to
like
this other friend.
other people that
Yeah.
it would be a more intellectual conversation
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
just
Well,
like some idiot.
there's there's like a good quote. It's like not every friend. Let me repeat that. Not every friend will fit every need, and I
Yep.
think that's so accurate, and that's probably something I struggle with because like I don't know. I just like I saw a quote like someone was saying like they need someone deeper than a contact lens, and I was like, yup. Like
Same.
I just can't like I don't know. I just always struggle with that. Like if you can't be have any depth to some level, some degree,
Yeah.
like I think it's like maybe what I don't want to say what ruined me, but like when I got into like somatic therapy and started like healing like inner trauma that like you don't realize you have until you like dig with like a freaking shovel to get there.
Yeah.
It's like you see what people are struggling with, like it's very, very like present. And like
Mm.
I think I just struggle with people that like just won't see anything. So it's like I don't know. I don't know. It probably sounds like very like elitist maybe, but like I just can't talk not talk, but I just can't be friends with people that are struggling with such like to stupid things that are like, if you would just see what you're dealing with, you could get through that, but you continue to struggle with it because you don't want to see it. So now you're dealing with very stupid, superficial problems. Like, I had a friend that was always like complaining to me about the same friend group, and they're like that all the guys are incestuous. They're always trying to date the same girls, like, and he's drunk and yelling. I'm like, and she's like, oh, it's so annoying. I'm like, get new friends. Like, it's very obvious. Like, I don't know. I just can't, like, to me, that's just like very monotonous, dumb, boring problem. Get bigger problems. You're boring. Like, I don't know. That probably sounds really annoying, but that's just like how I am. Like, I need something bigger than like the party you went to with the same people, because you don't want to get different and like better friends, let's be honest, that are not like all dating each other. Like, what are we in Vanderpump season 1? No.
literally, or like a reminiscent of like our like town.
Yeah, like high school or something. It's like,
Yeah, I think I just hated high school too. So that's probably why I'm like very like, "Ugh," when I see it, I just don't want to be around it. I just can't, like, just like
The visceral
boring.
reaction.
like you know what you
Yeah.
like, you know what you don't
Yeah.
like.
Oh yeah. We talk about that all the time. I know what I like. And when I don't like something, I'm running the other direction.
Well, that's important because a lot of people don't even know what they
A
want.
lot of people don't. That's
Mhm.
And then they get stuck in like the person that you're
Mhm.
talking about, like it feels safer to complain to you, right? Like she feels safer
Mhm.
in that
And
because
to
like
stay in this friend group
because she's
then.
like, well, I don't know what I would do without it. Like I
Yeah.
don't know
Who I would be.
who I would be. I don't know what I'm supposed to like. It would
Mhm.
be too much for her
Yeah,
to
it would like
try and
blow up their
handle.
entire world to think of
Right.
Yeah.
And
living a
so
different way. Yeah.
Right, and so you're on the very opposite end where, like, you know how to definitively say what you want, and you're gonna do what you
Mhm.
want, or you're gonna
Mhm.
try and work towards that, and I think that's
Mhm.
also super valuable, and some people might not vibe with you because they're like, "Holy shit, I'm so intimidated," because she knows
Mhm.
exactly what she wants,
Mhm.
whereas other people, they might thrive around kinda being around people that are maybe more indecisive or willing to push themselves because they feel safe in that. They're like, well, we're all kind of on the same page. And so this
That's
feels
a good
okay. You know what I
point.
mean? Like,
Yeah. Mhm.
there are some people, like, there's definitely this person in our lives that's like a little bit of a one upper, annoys
Oh.
the fuck out of me. So I know it's very, um, I keep it on the surface because it's just better and easier
Mhm.
because I'm just like, okay, like people that like try and one up, like where is it really coming from? Like it's not,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
there's something else and it's not it's what did they say? Not my monkey, not my circus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
I don't need to try and fix that, but it's just I think we are allowed to have different types of friends and be different versions of ourselves maybe with different friends and we don't have to like lend all of ourselves to every single
Mhm.
person
Yeah.
Mhm.
because then that is maybe why you're getting a little bit exhausted with people.
I mean, not really, because like I don't keep a lot of people. Do you know what I mean?
But is
Like,
that part of why you don't keep a lot of people? Like, if you looking back on, let's just say, like a friend that you were like, okay, like I gotta cut this bitch off, like just like
yeah.
annoying, I just can't vibe with her, like she's not
Yeah.
going deep enough. Would you be able to theoretically, like if you went into it with like, this is just a coffee shop friend, like we can go and get a
Mm,
coffee and just keep things surface and light and bright? Would that be a vibe? Like knowing that going into it, or you're just like, you just don't want any of it. You just don't want any surface.
It would be exhausting for me to keep that up, because then I
Oh,
have to
okay.
talk about the annoying stuff I don't want to talk about.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to talk about the same issues you're having because you refuse to change your behaviors. That's
Mm,
exhausting to me.
okay.
but what if it was like you're meeting for like a coffee friend date and it's
Mhm.
like you're not talking about anything too deep, but
Well, I
it's
think
like
she's saying that they would just keep bringing it up. Like it would be like
Yes.
it's like a
Yes.
complaining friend.
but what if it
Yes.
wasn't someone that's complaining? Like it wasn't like your friend that's complaining about this group of friends. It's just like, oh my God, Maddie, did I tell you, I just like
I got a new job,
bought this
or
book and
yeah, I
it's
read this
really
book.
great.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah,
maybe it's
I think
like it's
yeah, I
just like
think I could
a
do that.
romance novel or like,
Uh-huh.
oh my God, like it's gonna be really nice out this weekend. Maybe I'm gonna, go for a hike or something. And you just meet for like an hour or two, have a coffee, chit chat, like a friendly face to brighten the day. But it's not like, like this one friend that's talking about the same.
Because the complaining loop, I totally
Yeah,
get.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
just
Yeah,
it's
it
But if it was
draining.
someone
Yeah.
that's not complaining,
Right.
but maybe you're not having the most intellectual or deep conversations.
Yeah.
But like, hey girl, like I was just on Instagram and saw this like new product and I
Right.
ordered it. It's great.
Or people that like you can talk about like just like Bravo with. Like that is always my bonding
Like
thing.
you have your Bravo friends.
I have my Bravo friends. Not
Mm,
mad if he's
I think
listening
it's
to this.
like
That's not what I mean by that.
I think it's like having the ability is important to me to
Yeah.
go to those different places to talk
Mm,
about because
yeah.
each of my close friends, we can do both. And I think that's
Yeah.
like important. But like also talk about how exhausting it is just to try to make more friends. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's just such a like a draining probably why like I've been like on a hiatus from like trying that because I'm just like I don't have the energy
It's
to
like dating. It's so exhausting.
it is. It is. And it's just like, I don't know if I have the energy to do this right now. So I think it's like, I look for like certain qualities in friends. And it's no secret that like the deep, close friends I have very similar qualities to myself, hardworking, some type of entrepreneurial mindset. So all of them have a chronic health condition. it's all with them, which is funny. Women too, because that's very, very, those two things are tied together. But those people like are easy for me to talk to. But like I could, meet someone for coffee, yada yada yada. But like sometimes I don't know. I think not having the ability to go deeper into things like that's a huge turn off to me because like then like you're just blind to like a lot of the same issues that you're going to have and maybe this is just like my growth curve is like being able to like have superficial relationships but I think I know what it is. I had a million of those and keeping up with a million superficial things where it's just getting coffee, that's exhausting for me, for like
Yeah.
my personality. So I would rather have, a few people that can go deeper than like having to keep up all these like coffee date friendships, I think at the end of the day.
So, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I definitely don't want to keep up with like a million people regardless. Like
Well, yeah, even like if it was like
the list is
5
small, but if it is a lot of superficial people where like sometimes I just like need to be able to like be fucking real.
Yeah, yeah.
That can be exhausting. Yes,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
are Dr. Drew is like such like a douchebag, but I was about to say we are Dr. Drewing it up in here because he's kind of hot, love him, but he's like also a little bit crazy, like so. I don't know about that.
A little cray cray.
But we're Dr. Drewing it up in here a little bit, talking about our friendships and the needs for friendships and friendship dating. We really do need a friendship coach on here.
I'm gonna find one on the
How
threads. I
iconic
bet
would
you I
that
could
be?
find
Because
one.
maybe we're the problem.
I'm not the problem. No, I
I am
probably
never
am.
the problem. I am literally never the problem. I am the best friend you will ever meet.
The greatest person in the world.
Yeah, I have no
Mhm.
faults. I am a
Nope.
beautiful unicorn butterfly, and I don't know what you want me to do about it. Like nothing is my problem. But I think that would be like really eye-opening to have just like a
Uh-huh.
very objective outside point of view and just being
Yeah.
like, well, you kind of do seem like you do this. And it's like, oh God, I'm being called out.
Because it's like there is constructive feedback.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm sure they
I'm
would
so open
say
to that.
Like one of my things that I always do is I'm always late and I'm
Ugh,
always trying to fit everyone in because I have like
so
a
annoying.
lot of friends and I don't want to disappoint anyone and I want to see everyone. So I try to bring like X, Y, and
Mm,
Z together, but then
It's too
sometimes
much.
it like blows up in my
It's
face.
too much. Sometimes she's
mm.
bringing all of her walk of life friends together, and it's like, this is so awkward. People don't know each other. This is not fun. I'm like, it drives me.
But in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is perfect.
He's like, you know what? Getting it all done in one shot. And I'm like,
Uh,
I hate this. Like, this is not an experience I want to be invited to. Like, decline.
decline.
And like the running late thing, peace and love.
It's probably never gonna change.
It's probably never going to change, but it is literally the antithesis to who I am. I am like 15 minutes early because like I am late. It will annoy me. We're
I
driving
hate
to
being
Phuket
late
last
too.
weekend. We're like going to basically be by the highway, and she goes, I don't have my bag, like her purse. I was like, no, I literally, and I like try and be better about not having a snap judgment
Yeah.
because like I understand that like whatever shit happens.
We're not all like you.
But I literally
We
was like,
can't all be Allie.
I literally was like, what the fuck? And then she's like, I was like, you know what? Sorry about that. Like, you know, like, oh, this is just really annoying. Like, we're already gonna be in traffic. We're running late. And she's just like, oh, I'm just sorry. And I was like, just run in. I just spit so bad. I
I'm
was like,
just a
run
girl.
in and get it. Like, girl.
But then, everyone ended up like, oh, also, I forgot something in the house,
Not
and
me.
I forgot the wine, and
Nope.
I forgot X, Y, and
I
Z.
stayed in the car.
And I was like, see, you're welcome.
I kept my ass planted in that car because even if I forgot something, I will be damned.
For principle.
Yeah, for the principle.
You're like,
of it.
I'm not going back in there.
But
yeah, my point is, it's like, yeah, I know, like, I'm like a great friend. I really care and try and blah, blah, blah. But of course, every single person,
Yeah,
like,
we have our
has
faults.
flaws, yeah, and faults. And like
Mhm.
someone who's like a relationship coach can come in and like really like
Mhm.
point it out, and it can be constructive. Like, I'm sure someone would
Yeah.
be like, girl, Kate, like set a timer, leave the house on time, or like,
Or just
hey,
working through
don't
the
try to
people pleasing
process,
aspect.
don't try to push
Mhm.
everything into one day.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Remember what I said about women and chronic health conditions? People
Yes.
pleasing, it's a big one.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. Like we are embarrassing people pleasers. Like I'm a little bit better about it now, but like to our core,
Yeah.
100%. Like I'm in how many years of therapy trying to work through this?
Yeah.
But maybe hearing it from like in a relationship realm, learning different way. I don't know. I feel like that would be super interesting and
Yeah.
just be eye-opening. And like if you're listening to this and you're like, that would make me cringe, you need to be open to constructive criticism.
Exactly.
Oh,
Open to it.
that is like one of the biggest hurdles I worked
None of
through
us
as
are
like
perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
biggest hurdles I worked through as like a young adult was like receiving constructive
Yep.
criticism, because when I think of receiving that, I go back to like 7-year-old Maddie, like
Yep.
getting, I wouldn't even call it constructive, more like just, I don't
You've
know what you
done
would call it.
something wrong and now it's
Yeah,
and it
like,
wasn't really something that was wrong.
well, it was more like, this is terrible, this is bad,
Okay.
this sucks. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like
Yep.
that was the
Yep.
feedback style, was very
Not
like,
helpful
no,
feedback.
no, and not constructive, like not
Yep.
in a positive way. So like when I would receive feedback from former boss, I had 2 different male bosses, 3, it was like my body would like
Yeah.
revolt, and
You get
like I would
triggered.
just, oh my god, yeah, I would just like start crying and like hold it in. I'm like,
Yeah.
trying not to cry in front of this like male authority. And
Yeah.
now like I haven't had like a male authority in a long time, so that's part, in help of healing from that, but also like, you know, not letting it affect me that way. Like, so
Right.
for me, receiving constructive criticism has come a long way, but like, if people can't receive that, like Craig has a terrible time receiving constructive criticism.
He really does.
Like,
Yeah.
such a turn off to
To
me. It's
bring
not
it back to the top, if you clip art something on a pillow and you can't be open to the idea that like maybe that's not like
Yeah.
the most genius thing
Like
ever.
maybe there's something more.
Yeah, it probably goes deeper.
Mhm.
Probably goes deeper.
Probably goes deeper. What was I gonna ask? Before we podcast forever, because I do have a meeting here soonish. I wanted to ask, what is dating like abroad, Kate?
Oh God.
We were literally on Hinge and Bumble last night because like I've never used a dating app.
Same.
Flex. So I like
Slay.
love messing around and she'll like show me all these things, but like what is it abroad and also like being part of like the LGBTQ community? Like is it
Mhm.
harder? Do you find people are like open, not open? Is it situational?
It could be a mixed bag. Like, I think it can be really cool because you can meet people from like all over the world, and
Mhm.
you're getting totally like different perspectives, and it's
Mhm.
not just like the same old, like you never know, like, are you going to be meeting someone from, like the West, or maybe someone from Asia, or maybe someone like from, like Africa somewhere, or maybe like, different religious beliefs, or different, like so many things. Like some people are very traditional. And I think like you have to just like make sure that you put the energy out there of what you want, because like
Mm.
you're not just dating somebody from your own country,
Right.
like there's
Oh, that's a good
so
point.
like so many different like beliefs and factors and values out there, that I feel like you need to make it like apparent on your profile.
Yeah.
So because like
Oh,
it's obvious.
Not to cut you off, but when we were looking last night, I was like, oh my God, this person has like no info. And she's like, yeah, immediate red flag. And then like you go to the next person and they like have like all of their kind of like, it's a look at like who they are as a person.
Yeah.
You'll get an idea like,
And like I
Yeah.
could I
remember
vibe with that? Or is this an immediate, ugh?
I remember specifically, like I matched with this guy, and he was like a bit religious or whatever, which I'm like not. And he doesn't drink and blah blah blah. So I remember texting him. This was like in 2020. I remember texting him like, "Hey, so and so, like good news." Like I don't know, something exciting must have happened in my day. And then his immediate response was like, "Wow, did you stop drinking?" And it's like, I am not like an
What?
alcoholic, not to
That's
shame
weird.
anyone,
Yeah.
but I'm just
How
like,
weird.
right? And I'm like, no, like I was currently
Oh, you're like,
having a glass of
oh, I
wine.
have good news.
Yeah, like,
Oh.
and I was probably meaning like I got a sale today, or I don't know, like when I went
Yeah.
shopping, like
Right,
there was a
like,
discount,
just
or
like something,
yeah, just something fun.
that happened.
And it's
Yeah.
like he didn't say, "Oh, what is it?" It was like immediately, "Oh my God, did you stop drinking?" Question mark.
So that's like
And I was
that's
just
like a
like,
very like that's a you thing. Like that's what you're not you, but like
yeah, that's his beliefs. So
yeah.
like you will run into situations like that where you're just like, "Oh, we are totally not aligned here." You
Right.
know what I mean? That's the
Right.
thing.
Mhm.
Like you have to like put out there what you want, what you expect, because you never know. It's a mixed bag. You never know who you're gonna get.
So many different
So many different
Mm.
factors.
people,
And sometimes you
cultures.
don't think like that cultural differences make such a big impact on your relationship, but
Oh, they do.
they
Sure.
really do. So you have to be like good at communicating, and even communication styles across the world are not
Right.
the same.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
like
God.
super
Yeah.
fun and super exciting, and there's accents, and there's like, newness, and it's not just like the same old random boring American person, whatever, but it's like,
Mhm.
exciting. But at the same time, like, whoa, they could be completely valuing different ideas from
Right.
you. And it's like, they're not wrong, you're not wrong, but you're just clearly not going to be
Not a
good
good
together.
match.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you really have to like make sure you put out there what you want.
And I think be picky.
Yeah.
And also, which Kate does not really practice, which drives me crazy, being safe.
Yeah.
Meeting in public places. This bitch told me she was like going on a date the other night. She goes, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna take the bus to the train station and I'll take an Uber because it's cheaper from there." And then she goes, "Well, I lied. He picked me up or whatever." And I was like, "Hey, what the actual fuck? Like there's an aura around you and your luck might run out someday."
Allie's like,
Oh,
it's running out.
But I'm
please.
like, if you are dating, especially I think in new places, like
Yeah.
like like
Yes.
a place that it's not your familiar, go to the coffee
Yes.
shops, go to public places. Do not have
Yes.
somebody pick you up where you live. Like
No.
you can be
No.
fucking selective, which is like
Well, no,
I'm
he didn't pick me up where I lived.
no, I know, but I'm saying you are a walking red flag.
Yeah,
The
for
red
safety.
t-shirt for safety because like I don't know, you just like think so highly of people and to
You got
me
a little
such a dangerous
skepticism.
perspective.
Yeah, I
A little bit.
probably need a little bit
Yeah.
of skepticism.
That's what
but
the relationship coach could help you with.
yeah, exactly. She's
Yeah.
like,
Let's
don't be
try to
so damn
survive.
She's crazy. No, she's out of her damn mind. But I do have to say, one thing that I do admire about you is that you're willing to try, like, be resilient. You're like, you know what, I'm going on these I'm gonna try these things. I'm gonna,
Another disaster, but here I go again.
no, I think you just like you give it good energy, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like that's what you need to do. I think like
Yes.
in
Yes.
friendships, in dating, like being, maybe we could all be a little bit more open to like trying things, and like if it fails, like,
Yeah.
okay, well, did I learn something from it, or did
You
I
always do.
yeah, I mean, it's crazy
Yeah.
though, but yeah, I mean, goddamn.
Yeah, dating abroad can be super fun, but you have to be super careful. And
I think you should be careful wherever you
oh,
are.
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Careful
yeah,
wherever
yeah.
you are.
Wherever you are.
Yeah.
But especially like, in places where it's like you don't have your family down the
Or you don't
street.
speak the language.
Yeah, you don't speak the language. Like there's just all these other
Yeah.
factors.
Yeah.
I even think about like for me growing up, first generation Hispanic, like my dad raised us as if we were being raised in Mexico.
Mm,
Because like he was so against us like hanging out with our friends and going biking around the neighborhood. Like we lived like Coraopolis is not like some people call it like ghetto-ish, but it's not like that bad. Like there are much worse places, right? Of course, the school that I went to wasn't as good as the one I graduated from because it's just like I would have graduated with like 50 people. That's how small it was compared to like graduating with like 350. So big difference in that. But my dad like acted like we literally were living like in Mexico City, where it's more dangerous, of course, with different things like the cartel and whatnot. But he was always so like overprotective of us going like biking and these were different times. Like now going
sure.
out, like and me and Allie have talked about how like our stances on like letting our hypothetical children
Yeah,
sleep
things have
over.
changed.
Yes, things have definitely changed. And there
Maddie
were
had a
definitely
heart
times what?
I said Maddie had a heart attack when I
Why?
told her that Michaela and I went to Florida.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, that was crazy, but, what was I saying? That was crazy. But, what was I gonna do? Oh, yeah, so, like,
About yeah,
I did the difference in that, just from growing up, like, I can
yep,
only imagine how different it is, dating someone, but because I know the feeling of it growing up, and it was different, and
yep,
even just my family in Mexico, like, my dad is terrible communicator with plans, with anything that's happening. And when I was in Mexico for 5 weeks, his family is the same way. I'm like, "Oh, it makes so much sense." I'm
this
like,
is
"What are the
where it comes from.
Yes, this is where it comes from. It makes so much sense. So just like that communication would be tough.
Yeah, communication styles are different, values are different, beliefs are different. And it's
Mhm.
like, it's not to say it can't work. Of course it
right.
can, and it works for many people. But these are things you have to like factor in mind and like
Yep.
keeping that at the back of your
I think that should be at the forefront of your mind,
true, true.
because it would be kind of arrogant to go live in another part of the world and expect it to be like where you're from.
Yeah.
You're going
Mhm.
in,
Because also you're not just potentially dating people from the country you're living in.
but
Like Thailand, Vietnam, they have people from literally all over the world
All
for like
over.
job, for tourist reasons. So you're dating, like sometimes you might be two foreigners dating in a
right,
foreign country. So
That is crazy.
you have like three different like cultures coming together because it's like you may be in Vietnam, but you're like American and you're dating someone that's like Hispanic or maybe Chinese or French or
Mhm.
whatever. So you're like mixing so many different things here.
mhm,
You have
Mhm.
to know like, well, what's appropriate in the country that I'm living in? What's appropriate in my world? What's
Oh,
appropriate in their
yeah.
world? So and I think as long as like communication can be open and like whatever, you're gonna be fine.
yeah,
But that's not always the case.
yeah.
This might blow your mind, but my parents got married within 90 days of meeting each other.
Holy shit.
Wow, they knew.
Yep.
Like love at first
Well,
sight.
yeah, we've talked
Something
about
like
marriages
that.
and whatnot. They knew. I mean, I don't know. Do you know in 90 days? I don't know. Like that, I think that's pretty wild.
I think if you are at a certain age, maybe.
Were they older?
No.
No,
Like, you know,
they're pretty young. They're
they're
younger.
my mom is 57.
Same.
Yeah, but her parents are younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad is 55, 56.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I think if you're at like a certain age, maybe you do know. It's like, all right, I've been dating around for fucking years. Like I'm at, like I got the vibe. Like
Like I feel like people in their late 30s are like that.
Yeah, which
like
I think
they
is
could get
appropriate.
engaged within 1 year.
I think that's appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah, they got married in their 20s, I think. Because my sister's 30, and my mom is 57, and I think she probably got pregnant around 25 or 26, so
Oh my
something like
God.
that.
That's
So
lovely.
yeah,
That's
like early
crazy.
20s.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
crazy, crazy.
Imagine me being a mother at this moment. Well, give me a year.
Oh,
I can be a mother in a year. I could be a mother now, but give me a year. 1
I
year.
always think like those TikTok trends where it's like my mom or my dad doing some, like my dad coming from Mexico at like 19 with like $20 and can't speak English. And then I'm like at like 28, like Googling like how to file taxes. Like
Have you seen that? Yeah, literally. And mom does that to us all the time. Like I'll be like our mom got married a little bit like younger, but so like having kids, whatever, all this stuff. And like it'll be like me and I'm like, oh, like I just got my car inspected. Great job, heart. And I'm just like,
yeah, like it's like the like
or like more personal. I rode the elevator. That's amazing. You did that. You did that. I'm like,
go girl.
I did that. Like literally. As a generation, we are brain melted, and I love that for us. And if our parents
Agreed.
want to congratulate us on doing the least, I
Let it
deserve it.
be.
I deserve it.
I will take the least. I'll take the least.
Closing thoughts as we have talked and we've said it all.
And talked.
And you have an appointment, and Madison has an appointment. I give her a
do.
government name when I'm being serious.
Okay.
I know. You too.
It's 11:08.
Wow,
I know.
yeah, I do have an appointment.
You are blind.
Well, I don't have my glasses on. See, I was getting, I'll just show the crowd. I was getting like I don't know,
The
the
glare.
nerd glare. So
The
The
glare.
nerd glare.
I
The
took them
nerd
off.
glare. Closing thoughts. This was fun. I didn't know. I was like, we'll just go in and talk about whatever we talk about. And we always need an episode for the girls, so this was a good
Yes,
one.
this was the one for the girls.
And the girls.
It's like fun. I can't wait for you to come visit because then we can like record in person. Like this is so much more fun.
Yeah.
Oh, it
better.
does look fun.
You said, do you want to sit over there? I'm like, oh no, like I want to be like,
the vibe is fun. Yeah, she's like in my person.
I feel left out, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like over here, me and my friend. Where's like my napkin and chip?
No, you're not getting your penny and your chip. A la SpongeBob.
Yes. Anything else?
No, I don't think so. I think we will just wrap her up and put a cute little bow on it.
Cool. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching Kinda Hot, Kinda Healthy. Please make sure to subscribe, give us a 5-star review, and share us with your girlfriend who needs to hear this. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere where you can stream podcasts. If you have a burning question about life, friendships, health, and 1 or 2 cents, email us at kindahotpod@gmail.com. That's KINDAHOTPOD @gmail.com. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.